All right, guys, we are on my favorite unit of all time. I feel bad for you because you don't have me in class. I'm usually like the biggest cheerleader for right triangles and trigonometry. I love it. I'm hoping to make it easy on you, but it is one of my favorite topics. And if you are ever struggling within this stuff, come find me, see me, reach out. I can find many different ways to explain this. So first thing we're going to talk about are right triangles. And we've talked about them already, but we've got to really kind of get into the nitty gritty on them. So a right triangle, it's a triangle, has three sides. What makes it a right triangle is the 90-degree angle. So with us today, what we're going to be dealing with right triangles are the three different sides, and we're going to be solving for one of the missing sides of this right triangle. So the two sides that are attached to the 90-degree angle, these are called legs. And then the side opposite your right angle is always called the hypotenuse. So one thing that we're going to be doing today is checking our work. And the only way to really check your work is to take a look at all three sides and make sure that your hypotenuse is the longest. In a right triangle, the hypotenuse is always the longest side. And like I said, this is just a way to help you to check your work. So Pythagorean theorem, how we are going to use it today. You use the Pythagorean theorem when you are given two sides of a right triangle and you have to solve for the third. So that's the only time you use Pythagorean theorem, when you're given two sides of a right triangle and you have to solve for the third. So the Pythagorean theorem uses letters A, B, and C. And the main one that you have to remember is the hypotenuse across from the 90-degree angle. This side is always labeled with C. No matter what, hypotenuse is C. The other two sides, it doesn't matter. They are going to be A and B. And what the Pythagorean theorem says is if you take the two legs, square them, and add them, that will equal the hypotenuse squared. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And we are going to be setting this equation up every single time in solving. You will need a calculator for this. I've downloaded Desmos onto my phone. It's a really good app. It works really well. It's called Desmos. It's free, which is the best. There is a square root option right here that you'll see me kind of playing around with today. I would just want to kind of get you used to using that. So let me show you what we're going to be doing today. And actually the video today also carries over to tomorrow. So you're kind of going to get a 2-for-1. I'll tell you when to pause and when to come back maybe tomorrow. But today you are only going to be solving for the hypotenuse. So Wednesday, hypotenuse only. So here is a right triangle. And since we're given two out of the three sides, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. First thing you're going to see me do is label the sides. I go across from the 90-degree angle. That's the C. The other two sides are A and B. So now I'm going to take my A, B, and I'm missing C, but I'm going to get C and plug it into the Pythagorean theorem. So Pythagorean theorem says A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Well, A I have is 9. B is 40. And that equals C squared. 9 squared. So here, 9 squared is 81. $40 squared, 1,600. That equals C squared. Add these together. 81 plus 1,600 is 1,681. That equals C squared. So this is the part, the only major mathy thing that you've got to remember to do. You cannot leave this as C squared. You have to take the square root. When you take the square root, that is when you're going to get decimals. It's totally fine. I'm not sure if we do here or not. But when you take the square root of a square, they cancel out. So then you're going to find that missing length to be, and then let's see, I need to do square root 1681. And I get 41. So 41. So that means that this side is 41. And let's take a step back and look and make sure that makes sense. This is 9, this is 40, this is 41. Is my hypotenuse the longest side? Yes, it is. So that's how I know that I did that right. And that's it. Let's take a look at another one. So again, across from the 90-degree angle, that's C. It doesn't matter which one's A and B. Does not matter. So I plug into the Pythagorean theorem. 12 squared plus 15 squared equals C squared. 12 squared is 144 plus 15 squared is 225 equals C squared. Add them together. 144 plus 225 is 369. That equals C squared. Double checking if, yes, I did that right. Okay. So then 369 equals C squared. Take the square root. That gets rid of the square. So C equals, and then I do square root 369, and I get 19.2. Now, does that make sense? That this side would be 19.2? Yes, it does, because it's the longest side. So that's how you know you did it right. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's flip the page. Take a look at a couple more. Here we go. So across from the 90-degree angle, that is my C. We'll call that A and B. So I plug in the Pythagorean theorem. 10 squared plus 12 squared equals C squared. 100 plus 144 equals C squared. 100 plus 144 is 244. Once you get to this point, now you have to take the square root. So C is going to equal square root of 244. 244 is 15.6. And again, once you get that, let's make sure that makes sense. Does it make sense that that is 15.6? Yes, because it's the longest side. So that is what you're going to be doing today. Just solving for the hypotenuse, calling it a day. If you have any questions, please let me know.